And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kev and the gang. They're talking about some kind of sport.
We talking about base, not really.
Baseball.
Football, JP, foosball.
One of them.
We got to talk about the
You don't know about the foosball, JP?
FL draft.
Is that really a thing?
What, foosball?
Yeah.
Oh my!
I'm gonna let you Google that. I'm gonna let you Google that. Yep.
Oh,
I mean, I know what it is. I just didn't know that was an actual, thing. Because, I mean, I thought it was more just like.
You didn't
smaller
see the
sport.
movie, JP. It's okay. You didn't see the movie. It's from a movie.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
foosball. Well, I mean, that comment is, but there is actual foosball, and he's. I don't
He
think
knows
he's
what foosball is.
He does.
I know what foosball is, yeah.
I thought
Are
that's
you-
what you were asking.
No. I just
He
didn't
doesn't know
I
why
didn't-
you were making a foosball reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought you meant it was an actual sport.
Permit
and a
me
sporting
to
event.
permit me to translate.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a movie that there's a
Tom's more in line with.
watch
the
the
younger generation.
Adam Sandler. Watch the Water Boy. Adam Sandler. Watch the Water
Oh,
Boy.
yeah, I've heard of
That's.
it.
I'll let you fill. Kathy Bates will fill that in for you.
Y'all leaving? Bye, kids. Going over to the merry-go-round festival today.
Go to the
This might be
merry-go-round event. You better find a place to park early, or you better park downtown and walk.
Yeah.
Because it'll be packed. There's not a whole lot of parking in downtown Shelby, but it's a nice little walk. You could probably park uptown and walk down the sidewalk and get there.
Cheryl's got something going on today too.
Not sure. NFL draft. The four of us have not been drafted. JP has not been drafted, and neither has Shadeur. Sanders.
I was going to say earlier when we were doing our McDonald's orders, I was like, side note, the bill was actually higher than Shadeur Sanders' current professional contract.
They're harsh.
So I'm gonna. Well, Terry brought up, I think earlier, and others have brought it up. At this point, he will be making more at Colorado if he would have stayed than as a 4th or 5th round draft pick in the NFL.
Because it's capped. How much you can pay the guys per
Correct.
round is capped. Yeah.
So, a lot of questions about why he's dropped. Any of you three want to offer a what you think before I tell you the real reason?
Well, this is me. I mean, if you say you're going to play in an East-West, what was the East-West Shrine game or whatever, and then you don't play, who doesn't throw at the combine?
That's the bigger indictment, Tom.
Who doesn't throw? I mean, you're a quarterback. You don't throw at the combine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I'm a guaranteed 3 picks, so I'm not gonna top 3 picks. So hold on, son. If you're scared to throw the ball at a combine, how you gonna throw the ball in January in Green Bay? I mean, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's like who doesn't throw in a t-shirt and gym shorts? I just don't understand.
All
I
right,
just
Tom.
don't understand.
So I think you're confused on the combine thing. It's the latest trend. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May all didn't throw 1, 2, 3. They were drafted 1, 2, 3 last.
They didn't throw either.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I think, did I see Cam Ward up at the top didn't throw?
Right, everybody's throwing at home with their own receivers and their own routes and their own conditions.
Okay.
All right, okay.
The ones that are going to the combine and throw are the ones trying to improve
Okay.
their draft
Okay.
stock.
All right, but still,
That's it.
If they're
That
told they're a
educates
first-
us.
I still think it's dumb.
If they're
but
told
it's
they're a
just me.
first round pick, they're not throwing at the combine basically.
I
Huh.
still don't think that's the reason.
That's
I
just
think
kind
it's
of
got a
I-
lot
I-
to do. It's got a lot to do with dad.
Past examples like Derek Carr, Andrew Luck, Matthew Stafford did not throw at the combine.
Wow.
So basically, if you're top, you don't go and hurt
Wow.
your status.
Here, Terry's reason.
Okay. That's that.
All right, Terry, what's your
Yeah,
reason?
Got educated.
My reason's
today.
dad. Nobody wants to deal with dad.
And what do you mean by that?
Well,
I need
nobody wants
specifics.
him. Well, Pacifics. Nobody wants him
specifics.
all of a sudden trying to be part of the team or telling the team what to do and what coach, or you need a new coach, or you need a new GM, or you need a new person. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that comes with it. Nobody wants to see Dion face to face with their program and everything he thinks his son can do better than the one that you've put out there as a starter. There's a lot of things that come with this. And I mean, I just think this was one of them things that maybe Dion should have took a back seat instead of promoting his son. And I understand every bit of that. I'm with anybody promoting their child. But somewhere along the line, you have to stop and let the process do the process.
Chip, your thought?
I've been asking myself all weekend long, and I'm amazed at how swiftly he went from. I mean, during the season, we were talking. He was surefire first round pick by most any draft expert that you talk to, and how swiftly he's fallen. And the only plausible thing that I can put together, you might have a better reason, Kevin, but the only plausible reason is Terry's. I don't know if anybody wants. They look at LaMelo Ball's dad. They look at. They think about. If I'm Dion, I'm almost, or you think about if the Lakers had not drafted Bronny, do you think any other team would necessarily want now LeBron playing for them? Yes, but do you think they would want LeBron actually influencing them after he retired?
And I'm glad you said what you said, because you think of the Balls, Dad's out of it. You don't hear about him no more,
right?
Because the kids have made their way. He's out of it. Leave him out of it. That's what Dion's got to do. Dion's got to say, "Here's my son. Stay out of it. Don't come commenting. Don't be doing a lot of things that you're doing still right now."
The one thing I think about Dion, do you think he's right now, this morning, do you think he is second guessing not talking to Jerry Jones a little more about head coaching at Dallas right now, because he'd have a little more? His son would have been drafted by last night at the latest.
I would have been drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought their scheme honestly was I thought they were the ones. We're going to trade up and do I thought it was going to be a Dak. Everything I read online yesterday was Dallas is working on a blockbuster. Dallas is working on a blockbuster, and I thought they were going to do the Dak Prescott trade to move up and do that. I thought the hiring was fake. They're whoever their fake coach is now. They just promoted their coordinator.
I
thought it was all because you couldn't guarantee you're going to get Shadeur. So I thought it was going to be an all in to get Shadeur at 2, sign Dion. There's the coach. Now that was just a crazy thought, but here's the deal. So. Todd McShay's talking about this morning, and a couple of others had some bad interviews. Basically, what I'm getting from is, I don't think the Sanders camp thought they were obviously a top 10 pick, so they didn't really want to or give any credence to any teams outside the top 10 as far as talking to him and with them. I think that's part of the issue, is that there's certain teams that he didn't want to go to, and then the teams that he did want to go to, they may have had some bad interviews and stuff. Now, Terry is hitting on and hitting on the major issue, but he didn't quite finish the thought. The thing is that none of these other kids' dads can replace that head coach. It's not like LeVar Ball is going to complain and the GM's going to be like, "Okay, I'll hire LeVar Ball to be the head coach." Whoever drafts Shadeur Sanders can put his dad a head coach, and his dad is qualified to be the head coach. That's the difference. Do you draft a kid whose dad could take your job?
Drafting him immediately puts the head coach on the hot seat.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yep.
If you draft that guy, you're on the hot seat immediately. Whether he plays or not, whether he's behind Aaron Rodgers or whatever.
And it never goes away.
Or whoever it is. No.
It never goes away.
It would never go away. Whether Dion comments, says anything, or does anything else the rest of his life about any of it, the thought would be, hey, we could get Dion to coach. Yeah. If it's White Shadeur working out, we invested a draft pick. The whole thing. Why would I pick a guy? He's basically picking your replacement at coach. That's what I get out of it.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing where every team would drop and miss. Pittsburgh, I don't think Mike Tomlin. He might be scared like that because he's been on the. They talk about firing him every year, but I think that's the major
fire
issue.
coaches.
Oh man, I want to tell you something.
I think that's the major
that's
issue.
Not
is
going to
that
happen.
Pittsburgh doesn't fire their coaches.
No, that's not going to happen anyway. You're not going to fire a guy who daggum has a winning record ever since he's ever been
Bill
in there.
Bill Belichick got fired, Terry.
Well, I don't care.
That's Robert Kraft. That's Robert Kraft.
Tomlin takes kids.
Tom Landry got fired, Terry. Jimmy Johnson got fired, man. Terry.
That's Jerry Jones.
George Seifert got fired. Bill Walsh got fired.
It's a policy of the Steelers. They don't fire. I mean, that's why Mike Tomlin is only the third coach in the franchise's history.
Darvin Ham got fired the same year. He won the in-game championship.
Tom Brady. You're not going to get rid of him. He's the one who's producing the winners, and he takes kids and makes something out of them that you wouldn't think. And he produces a human, a man, out of these young men that he gets.
Well, somebody's going to pick him.
You know.
You think he's going to go undrafted at this
Well,
point?
I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna
Based
start
on
off.
what you said, yes.
Well, they're gonna start off at 103. 103 today. Dallas's pick is 149. So can he make it to then? You know, and can he get to number 149? If it comes around, I have no trouble taking him for this reason.
Yeah, but that
Because
coach
we need a
is-
backup.
But does that coach want him? That's what I'm saying. Does that
Here's
coach want to back up?
I wouldn't
Coach
want
sitting in
the
Boulder.
talking that might come with it. That would be my
I don't
only
think
problem.
Deion's going to interfere.
here's
I think the reporters
Yeah.
are going to press Deion and they'll ask him questions while he's at Colorado, and he's going to be like, "Hey guys, I'm at Colorado and try his best to do that." I think he's going to do the best that. I think.
Or can you ask yourself this? Sanders, can you do something else besides quarterback?
no, he
Terry.
won't. Nope.
Well,
No.
He-
What do you mean? He ain't fast enough.
Armani Edwards.
Well,
Guys,
that-
we
that-
saw what happened with
That's
that.
apples to oranges.
Armani ran
That's not apples to oranges.
4.240.
As athletically wise, that's
So,
not,
so
that's not
the
same.
reports are on Sanders that he is a pocket passer, and the only negative thing is they say he's not that athletic. And you read it, and you're like, "Are you telling me Deion Sanders kid who's 6'4",
Right,
he
right,
just threw
right.
for 3,000 yards and he's not athletic, like or whatever it is? Like, come on, guys, like so that one.
How far down does it? How far? Excuse me. How far down the draft
He's 6'2",
does it
212.
have to get before David Tepper starts looking at him and hedging his bet with Bryce Young, and also Dave Canales doesn't have a lot of job security anyway?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at the progress that he did make towards the end of last year.
Fair. Yeah.
And Canales was there to be a quarterback whisperer. So why would you draft this guy to say, okay, well, you're already on the hot seat? I mean, he's been there what last year? Now he's been there
Just
one
1 year.
year.
1 year.
I mean, I think they're going to give him a chance. I don't really think that's a scenario.
All right,
But if there's one thing that David Tepper's proven so far in his tenure is no coach is safe.
So here's why I'm calling the BS on the Sanders not that good of a player thing or whatever they're looking at. He's not that athletic or whatever. His completion percentage last year, y'all, 74%. He threw for 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 10 picks. Whatever you care about him running outside the pocket, that's good. If he did that, is standing inside the pocket and wasn't moving around, and everybody knows Colorado's defense was bad. Somebody's going to pick him up. Like you just said, maybe not the Panthers, but like who's got a quarterback position where you're like, hey, we're not really that strong. This is 4th, 5th round pick. But like I said earlier, you've got to be solid in your coaching staff to not think that the GM or whoever's going to fire you for Deion in a couple of years. Like I don't know the exact reason, but I don't think it's because of his play.
But he's not going to come in to be a starter, y'all.
At this point, he doesn't. But that's the thing.
He's going to come in to be a second guy on your team.
The farther down he goes, the less. Now, to Kevin's point, notwithstanding, the farther down he goes, the less pressure to have to. At this point, you're not having to worry about putting him in. So
Who's the Jets quarterback?
not Darnold. Darnold? Did they sign?
No.
No. Darnold went to the Seahawks.
There's where you run
golly,
into
I
the
can't remember
problem.
where-
How many guys in the NFL do you not
Oh, Fields. Fields.
Yeah,
Have
a
Fields,
starter.
right, Fields, yeah.
So Sanders coming in, can he jump ahead of who your starter is now?
I
The
don't
Steelers don't have a starter.
I don't care if he's a 7th round pick. Wherever he goes, there's going to be pressure on to play him. I don't care what round.
The Saints
he goes
didn't
in.
have a starter.
Why? Not
What's that?
now.
Because of who his dad is.
Well, yeah. Well, there you go.
Why don't the Rams draft him? And Matthew Stafford. Is
Now we
Matthew
have
Stafford's
another
heir
problem.
apparent?
See?
I mean,
The Colts.
yeah. Well, the Colts already have. I mean, they got Richardson, and who else is competing against?
Sean Payton yesterday said that Sanders is a player. Somebody's going to have a really good player that they got late. I guess
He's
it's not
one of the
gonna-
few
it's
coaches
not
who's
gonna
in a
be them.
position he can say that because he just drafted his franchise quarterback last year. So,
And I'm never saying that he's never going to be a quarterback.
right. Yeah.
He can. But the process that he's going through is showing a lot of things. And I do know. And people say, well, it's apples to oranges between Amani and him. No, it's not. You got a guy that's going to come in. He will not go into Dallas and be a starter because Dak's the starter.
So
It's not going to happen.
You're gonna say you should run back punts, Terry.
You
You're
know,
gonna say-
well,
I just think
I'm just asking. He's going to have to be able to fulfill
Mm-hmm.
something that you're wanting. And if you're not needing a starter, then he's going to have to realize that to start, I'm going to have to be a backup.
Well, you got to earn.
You do.
You gotta beat 'em out.
Your way in.
I mean, why wouldn't Arizona look at that instead of their little bitty guy out there?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't San Francisco look at it?
That's I was thinking about the Niners. I mean,
What?
to hedge Purdy's bet, to hedge your bet
There's
with
no
Purdy's.
way he can take over for Purdy.
They're
do you,
talking- they're
would you
talking-
want to pay Purdy $60 million,
Yeah, they're
Terry,
talking
or do you
about-
want to
yeah,
pay
give
Shadeur Sanders $5?
There's your difference.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's your difference.
And
right
you've
there.
got a quarterback
Money-wise.
whisperer in Kyle Shanahan. I mean,
yeah. Do you want to
If
pay?
we were going to do something like that, Dallas should have already made a trade and got rid of Dak and
Correct.
brought him in.
that
Correct.
Zach's text
Yeah.
Thursday night. Those on the radio show weren't privy. We were all texting each other during the draft until the Browns made their first round pick and Tom went to bed. But but Zach's whole point about draft him and trade Dak. I said that's and what was my response? That makes too much sense for Jerry Jones to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, how does everybody else look at it? Everybody else is going to say, "Oh, now why'd we do this? Is this a plus or a minus? We just saved a lot of money, but did that help Dallas right now? No, that wouldn't help Dallas. Dak's a better quarterback than Sanders. I mean, we know that you can't go by college. This is the NFL. Dak has proven himself in the NFL.
To what?
Huh?
Losing the first
12
round?
No, 12 wins a year. Tell me any other quarterback who has all that.
Patrick Mahomes.
How many NFL how many NFC championships has he
Yeah.
played for?
How many Super Bowls has he got?
How many Super Bowls has he won?
Well,
The whole NFC West-
See, you can't really say all that.
The whole
stuff.
NFC West
Yes,
can
we
take a
can
fly
say-
on
we
that.
can
I wouldn't
say
be
that
That
surprised.
would be
because
the
it's
same
true.
thing
I
as
don't just
saying
took Miller
Dan
over.
Marino
I don't think you
is
see
the
the
best
Cardinals
quarterback
do it.
ever. Well, he
They're
never won
invested
nothing.
in Kyler, and I don't think the Seahawks just
Well,
signed
everybody's
Sam Darnold.
invested in who they got, but like at some point, like
I thought the Browns were going to get Milroe. That's all they, a lot of buzz was.
all right, so let's go over the Panthers picks for our local folks. Excuse me, in the first round. Did anybody get a pronunciation on Tet's whole first name?
Nope.
All right. They draft McMillan at wide receiver. As the Panthers look to rebuild the offense around Bryce Young, they give him a great target who can dominate on 50-50 balls. McMillan is an easy fit in the offense as a true X receiver with big playability downfield.
Isn't this the third or fourth year in a row we've heard that from their first round pick that was a wide receiver?
He can also create big yards after the catch when utilized on screens and check down passes. They have a
It's
fun
not a
group
bad pick.
of young receivers, but
But
no
we've said
true
that about
number one.
Every
No,
receiver they
McMillan
drafted.
can be that
No,
immediately.
this is the guy that
6'4",
Dallas
219.
That's fine.
The only thing that I don't see in the draft analysis is Kenny Skinnacoon. That's what you have to be to play for the Panthers.
we were supposed to have our number one receiver last year with Leggett.
yeah.
I mean, how many of these are we going to burn through?
Well, they're obviously admitting Legette's not going to be a number one receiver.
yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. You're conceding that.
Back-to-back wide receivers in drafts, you like that, Terry? In the first round.
Yeah.
I think they messed up last year.
And they got
Legette's not the receiver they thought he was.
they got a tiny quarterback and back-to-back wide receivers.
What happens?
This
Six-
guy right here can play the position.
But that's what we were saying about Leggett at this point last
this
year.
guy right here can play the position, y'all.
Their next pick, 11th ranked overall defensive end, Nick Scorton from Texas A&M. It says they had round one speculation that the Panthers would go for a pass rusher, but instead went with McMillan. And now they go with the defender at 10 sacks at Texas A&M. Their third round pick is another edge rusher, Princely. I'm not even going to try to say his last name, from Ole Miss. 15th ranked and the 11th ranked. So they picked two defensive ends in back-to-back picks for the Panthers. Chip, any thoughts, analysis on that one? Or
Carolina historically, when they've been good, and that when they've been at their best, their front four has been the strong suit of their defense. So I think they're investing in that, and that's even with different leadership up at the top. I think they're trying to lean into it looks to me like they're trying to lean in historically into what's made them good on defense.
I will say this: I think Princely's a better guy for them to have took than the other guy.
well, Cowboys go guard,
Good
defensive
pick.
end,
Good
and
pick.
cornerback from East Carolina, Siobhan Revel Jr. Terry?
Yeah, I was happy. I mean, when you lost Gentry and then you lost a wide receiver to Carolina, I mean, then you had to replace 2 guys up front, and Dallas lost 2 with Smith and Fitzgerald. So now you have to put a guy in, and I think they did exactly what they should have done. To me, this is a 12 to 15-year starter for the Cowboys. And, so I was happy with what we did.
A 15-year starter?
Could be.
A first round offensive lineman should go 10. I don't know, Terry. Like Tom's like, I don't know, 15's kind of stretching a little bit there.
But I'm just
He could be a
saying,
20,
he could
25, maybe 30-year starter.
Oh, no. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Longevity, man.
I actually do. If he was drafted by the Browns, he'd probably be 3 years and he'd be working at McDonald's. But if the Cowboys get him, he's going to start for the next 15 years.
Everyone Dallas gets has to have that opportunity.
Yeah, they've drafted so well. That's why they've done so well. Won so many Super Bowls.
Oh.
Terry, do you think they should have? What about picking one of the tight ends instead to give Dak a weapon at tight end?
I've thought about that a million times.
How
What
many
are we
tight
gonna
ends? I
do?
think there were like 3.
Yeah, there's been a few that got off the board already.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't. Here's my deal, and just like I told people this past week when they were asking me, I said, "What kind of trade did we make? We got Sanders. Y'all get Carolina gets Rico Dowdy, 1,000-yard rusher. We let go for us to pick up a 250-yard rusher. So our somebody's got to be in the backfield. I don't care where you go, Jerry Jones. You got to get somebody in the backfield.
Hey man,
Who's the starter now in Dallas?
Probably Miles Sanders.
They're gonna do what? Hey, they're gonna do. They're gonna sign a big name has-been. Leonard Fournette's gonna get signed, man.
No, that's
and you're
what
gonna be like,
talking
oh,
about.
we're gonna hear it come September. We're going to the Super Bowl.
I was
Is he
I
still
was in
available?
a line one time. Me and
We signed
another
Adrian
guy
Peterson. We're going to the Super Bowl.
are Cowboy fans, and he was doing the same thing I was doing. Why didn't we go get Henry? Why didn't we go do this? Why didn't we go do that? You got to have somebody behind Dak. He cannot pass all the time.
That's why we're saying
and then what do you have to do? Then you got somebody to help C.D. Lamb.
Javonte Williams is now your new starter, is what it lists from Denver. Joe Milton, you got him to be backup quarterback, and Will Greer.
Yeah, now here's another thing I want to
Will
tell you
Greer's
about
still
that
in the league?
pick.
He's on the Cowboys.
He's on their depth chart right now.
I'm going to tell you something else I don't like about this pick. You know what the first thing they say about the Milton guy that come from New England? Wow, he can throw it 75 yards. Who the heck cares?
If it's
He's our backup. You just let Cooper Rush run away from us that did succeed in everything that he did as a backup, and you just let him walk away.
If C.D. Lamb's able to get by his defender, you might want somebody who can throw it 75 yards.
Oh, Lordy.
You're upset you lost Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
He's way better than Milton, y'all, and a lot of people going to say
he
not.
just told us
I'm
don't
sorry.
pick Shadeur
he's
Sanders.
proven. He's more proven than
Yes.
Joe Milton. That doesn't mean better.
Okay, so this guy can throw it 75 yards.
At this point, if I'm Dallas, I'd pick Sanders.
Well, I've said that. The next
If
one
your
up,
quarterback's
149.
if your quarterback's
You gotta
supposed to
have
be
a
good
backup.
enough and qualified in his position, and he's Dak. Obviously, Dak is Jerry Jones loves. He can lose whatever all the games he wants. Jerry Jones is happy as long as he makes money. So Dak's not going anywhere. Bring in
I've sat there
Shadeur.
and
Time
told
out.
you,
Time out.
149, bring him in.
What's today? What's today's date? Saturday, April 26th. Dak Prescott's questionable today right now. Look at that.
It's listed as question.
He's listed as questionable in the offseason.
A lot of people are. They're on the injured reports here.
Oh, my God.
They got like 12 people. Joe Milton, Will Greer, but yep. All right, Terry. So no tight ends there. All right, Tommy. Let's talk about these yahoos.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, the last place team
You know what's
in
it-
NFL.
Hold on, we
football.
got comments to get. I got
If
audio.
he would be quiet.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was
It's not your
talking a
turn to
minute
talk.
ago,
Did
and
he
you
say
were talking.
Tommy or Terry?